Hey, darling. So I did like several days of Tony Robbins seminars. It was free and very, very helpful. So there are a few takeaways that I got that I've been focusing on, and they've been making life a lot better. So one of the big things he talked about was identity. So our identity drives practically everything we do. So if we have an identity of I'm a victim, we're going to view everything through that lens and we're going to act accordingly. We're just going to let life happen to us. And if we view life as a struggle, as a slog, as just this painful, difficult thing, that's how we're going to act accordingly. Again, we're just going to oh, life is just awful and this and that. And then if we have all these beliefs that are holding us back, we're held back. And so I've been thinking, how do I view all of these things? And so before, my identity was kind of this person who would try, but could just never really fully get things to work out for me. Like I'd get like some success, but never where I wanted it to be. I could never have the career I wanted, never have the body I wanted, never have the relationships I wanted. And then how I viewed life, it was kind of a struggle. That's just hard. And then I had different beliefs that were really holding me back. So one is I always love people more than they love me. And that's scary and not good. And I need to try to like figure out how to hold that love back. And just again, that life is hard and there's something like lacking in me. There's something just missing. I just don't have enough of the drive to really get my dreams. And so when I was thinking, well, what do I want to believe? How do I want to view life? I was thinking about my identity. I was like, I want to be an uplifter. Like I love helping people, making them feel better, making them feel not alone. So that's what my main thing is. I want to be an uplifter. And then when he was talking about ways to view life, he went through a few things. He's like, is it a party? Is it sacred? Is it, this or that, or blah, 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 blah. And the party and sacred really stuck out for me because I'm like thinking sacred means just of utmost importance. It's beautiful. It's this amazing thing. And then party, it's just fun. And so it's like, I want to view life as a sacred party, that it is just so phenomenally important and special and priceless, but it's also fun. It's a good time. And we're supposed to help people and lift each other up, but we're also supposed to just enjoy. And then my role, like I said, I want to be an uplifter. And then beliefs, I want to love fearlessly and trust that there is plenty of love coming back, more love than I can fathom. That I believe in God, and so like I will trust like that God will make that happen. That I'll just lean in on that and just love so fully and completely, and that I do have what it takes to get the career and the body and the relationships that I want. That there is nothing lacking. That I have everything I need, and if I have skills to learn or different things like that, like I can do it and I can have everything that I want. And so shifting these beliefs and every morning going through this and be like, okay, what's my role? What's my identity? How do I view life? What are my beliefs? Has been really helpful. And it still can be a struggle. I'll still have some of those old beliefs come up, but I just kind of combat them like, no, this is how I am now. Another thing that was insanely helpful is he's talking about relationships. So a lot of times in relationships, we're asking, what am I getting? Am I getting enough? Or we keep score, like, oh, well, I did this, and then, they only did this, and I'm just giving so much more, and they're not giving enough. And if there's distance or discomfort, we always blame the other person. Like, clearly they're doing everything wrong, or a lot of times we do, maybe not always. But when he's talking about this, I was thinking, yeah, there's probably some stuff that I do wrong that's not great. And I realized that one of those beliefs that I love more than other people love me, and that's scary and bad, was really getting in the way. Because anytime we have a belief, our brain is going to do whatever it can to support that. And so even if my main partner 5 would give and show love, like I would appreciate it, but anytime I perceived that he wasn't loving me as much as I was loving him, that would get really big in my brain, and that's what I would focus on. And I'd get sad and mopey and depressed, and it couldn't have been fun for anyone to be around. especially myself. I was getting kind of tired of myself. And like, I would just not really appreciate as much the things that he did show that he loved me, and the things that my sort of partner Ronnie would show. Like, every morning 5 would make me bacon and sometimes like electrolyte water, and would send me these like good morning beautiful Snapchat thingies, and just would tell me he loves me and compliments. And then Ronnie would tell me that she appreciates me, which is like always makes me feel so good. And just the other day, like, just gave me this like cute hug out of nowhere, and I was like, my heart. But I want to make those bigger in my mind, and to realize like I am shown love constantly. And to realize that also the things that I thought were criticisms were probably just them caring and wanting to help. Because there'd be times when they would be like, oh, well, like asking these questions that made it feel like I was wrong. And I don't think it was out of a place of malice. It was out of a place of trying to help. And so I'm really working on viewing things differently, but also asking, how can I show up? How can I give? Because giving generally makes us feel a lot better. Like if you go out and help someone, that can be a huge boost to yourself, actually. If you volunteer at a women's shelter or a soup kitchen or whatever, a lot of times it just uplifts you to uplift somebody else. And so I've been focusing on that. Like this last weekend, it was hard for my main partner 5 because his wife Ronnie, her partner, was up. And when they had first talked about being polyamorous, they had talked about like kitchen table poly and just everyone all kind of hanging out. And that's how he recharges, is just having all these people together. And for Ronnie and me, words. I don't know why that always gets me, like when I'm talking and then I get nervous. We recharge like with one-on-one time. So Ronnie was super excited to have time with her partner, and I was super excited to have time with 5. I was like, oh, sweet, I get like practically the entire weekend just to hang out with just us and to connect. And 5 had a hard time with that because he was expecting all of us to be together. And so he was feeling kind of bummed and down because Ronnie and her partner just stayed to themselves the majority of the weekend. And I had to make a choice of, do I show up for 5? Do I support? Or do I get butthurt and be like, I wanted to spend the weekend with you, and what is wrong with me that you're not happy to spend the time with me? Well, you want Ronnie and her partner to all hang out. And I didn't want to be that person. And my feelings were like a little bit hurt, but I understood what he was going through, that he was going through a painful place. And I had gone through a lot of pain and difficulty and just battling all sorts of irrational beliefs. And he had shown up for me, and he had been there for me. And I'm like, it is my turn to do that and to not get all like, what about me? Because that's totally a thing I could have done. And it felt good to do that and to show that love and to give. And so I want to do more of that. And I feel like people could easily twist this and be like, oh, well, what if the other person never gives back? Well, I think one of the things Tony says is try it for like a couple months. Just try giving and see what happens. And if it doesn't work out, then hopefully you two are closer and friendlier and you can part ways on amicable terms. So, I mean, I don't think this is like, do this if somebody's super abusive or super toxic, like then just get out. But yeah, in general, in most situations, giving love can be safe. And that's what I want to do, is to just feel safe giving love. And sometimes it's kind of hard because those old beliefs are still tickling the back of my brain, but I'm really working on letting them go. And I've felt so much more hopeful and happier. And it's only been a few days. It's super weird. And I'm hoping to stick on to it and to just keep learning from these little lessons that I got from this seminar. So fingers crossed, I got this. And yeah, I'm looking forward to a happier and healthier and more giving and loving life. Okay, bye.